half the budget did not turn up.
We didn't lose half the money. That I think Brian likes to exaggerate.
I don't know where all the money went. I'll be honest with you.
We wound up losing about $450,000-$500,000.
I don't think they shot it on $2.5 million, but I may be wrong.
The stuntmen could be paid to turn up, and whatever they did was up to them. That was how poverty-stricken the budget suddenly became.
To say that we couldn't afford stunt people, I don't buy into it.
The prison camp was built to hold 500. We couldn't afford 500 people. We could afford 75 on our biggest day.
You don't have that overcrowding problem, do you?
To me, that's bull. You can afford 200. I mean, how much is it?
There were stories from the crew that, the producers were out at the race courses every day gambling to get more money.
Yeah, they spent a lot of time at the track. Now, I don't think we shot it in $2.5 million, okay?
We also lost a few pages and didn't make any sense whatsoever. They didn't help either.
They threw 25 or 30 or 17. You hear different stories. How many pages of the script they threw out, I don't know.
When they tore out the first 15 pages, and there's no beginning.
I actually kind of like starting at the prison. I think it actually ends up working pretty good in the movie, just like not knowing the society and, and just boom.
They're going to make obedient little citizens out of us. Society.
When you have no beginning, you'd have nothing. You're screwed.
He had to strip away all the character development, which, let's face it, in some of these movies, it just gets in the way.
All right, wise ass. Make your move.
He started with them arriving at the prison camp, and it was pretty much wall-to-wall insanity from there on out.
The hunters and the hunted. The quick and the dead.
Other pages were torn out, too, after that.
Fucking bastards!
I can't remember which ones, but I remember standing there when they went...
With all due respect to Steve, I'm not sure that the state of his mind during that film was such that he could remember any of the pages.
Stay away from the track, and don't blame it on the $700,000 that was cut, because it had nothing to do with it. Stay away from the track, because that did have something to do with it. And that's as far as I'm going to go with it without getting sued, but it's the truth.
We can't quit now, because if we quit now, everything we believe in dies. But we gotta keep going.
It occurred to me at that time I could walk away from this, but that might cause the collapse of the enterprise.
Brian was under a huge amount of pressure, trying to placate the actors who were unravelling at a great rate.
That one there, the one with the long, dark hair, she's rather nice. Quite, vulnerable.
Olivia Hussey seemed concerned about life in general, not the film. She was just concerned about living, waking up of a morning.
So what have we got? Oh, God. Why?
We're supposed to do the shower scene. And I'm a guy that's supposed to go in there and want to use these women up to some extent.
We're gonna pay a visit to your girlfriend. Each of us. One at a time.
She didn't want her breasts exposed, so he used the double.
When you run out of money, the body double you get is the body double you could afford.
I mean, I would have felt, holy macaronis, you're going to use those as my breasts?
We wanted somebody who would work a little better on the poster than Olivia if she'd done the job.
Tell me again, what are we making here? Tell me again. Okay.
Rightly or wrongly, I decided to make it into a high-camp splatter movie. Stunts may be expensive, but blood is cheap.
You know what, fuck it. All we have is violence, and we've got sex, and we've got some boobs hanging around. Let's just get that on camera.
Maybe we better take off our hot clothes.
Some of the sequences are out there.
I remember the production designer coming up with an idea of if he made a false tree and we cut a hole, we could stick Alf's real legs in and have the bulldozer crush him.
But it's a cheap cut. See the way he was cut? It was really cheap. You could see the body fall off. Nothing coming out, blood or anything. It was just...
We had to come up with ways of killing them off.
Come up behind him with a machete and I go, wham! And the next thing you know is you see this thing. It's like one of those arrows that go through your head, you know? It looks so cheesy. But I'll tell you what did work is when I blew that head off.
Every member of the crew was covered in blood. And I remember the stills cameraman, his face had bits of brain matter on it.
There were so many ways you could die while you were making Turkey Shoot, whether it was from slipping in rivers and drowning.
I remember in this billabong, the two of them floating on a log, and a truck drove up and it was a local ranger, and he said, filming here, are you? And I said, yeah, you've got a couple of actors in the water. And he went, uh-huh. And I said, is that all right with you? And he said, yeah, it's fine with me. He said, I wouldn't be in there. There's a huge female crocodile that lives in that billabong, and she's just laid some eggs right behind where they're filming.
I'm in my trailer, and my trailer started to shake. I heard the loudest boom.
They'd blown up the creek to scare any crocodiles off.
They said, Steve, it's safe. We got them. I'm talking dynamite.
I found out that they'd blown up the other end of the creek, which would have forced the crocodiles down our way anyway. Idiots. I was in that creek and it was neck deep and it was filthy dirty. And I said to them, I'll give you one take. But they supposedly had stuntmen underneath me with air tanks on. Well, yeah, sure. I believe you, baby. I didn't see them come up, never saw them go in.
There were always things blowing up. There was no safety.
When we filmed the cane burning, we had no water trucks. We had the local farmer who sort of went, yeah, the wind's good, we'll light it here and go that way. So then we'd put our actors in there, and we had Roger Ward running alongside the fire. Now, this fire on the cane can change at any instant, but he was very, very close. Noel Ferrier was an actor that supposedly dies in the fire. He almost did die in the fire. We actually had him in this clearing, the wind changed, and we had to get out of there quick. I remember running for our lives.
We ran and ran and ran and ran in that show, yeah. Ran wet, ran dry, ran through fire, ran through grass, ran. To what end, I don't know, but I just ran. Tried to run away. They kept finding me.
Please take me with you, don't leave me here.
Tony Ganane entered Turkey Shoot into the AFI Awards that year.
Can you imagine walking into the AFI Awards completely unprepared?
Who will survive the Blood and Thunder Shocker of the Year?
And you're sitting there and your face is falling off. You cannot believe what you are seeing.
Some of these people came running out as if they'd just got a cell phone call that their child had been abducted at school or something. I've never seen people move so quickly. And of course then there was dear old Philip Adams, not content with trashing Mad Max, decided that he'd better have a go at me.
Turkey Shoot is one of my least favourite films of all time, but there was a very charming woman in it. His name was Linda Stoner.
Yes, you'll get on here very well, I'm sure.
The things that had done that poor woman are worse than any of the things that are done in an abattoir.
I'm going to make you feel like you've never felt before.
I believe I said that the sight of Linda Stoner being stabbed through the left nork by a carnivorous lesbian was too much for me to take. And indeed it was.
He was one of the ones who bolted out the door to, perhaps he thought one of his sarcophaguses was being stolen.
There are aspects of the film that are definitely bad. There's bad acting, bad staging. This is not the film that I hoped would show that we could make a high-level Hollywood action movie in Australia.
I don't know if it was entertaining or bad or what, but it was a picture perhaps that could have been left on the shelf.
I was here to make a damn good movie. That's all I cared about. And I get off the plane to find out 15 pages. The first 15 pages are gone. Right there, I should have had the clue.
It was a far worse film than anyone could have imagined.
Looking recently at the resumes of the people who were in it, I haven't seen them remove it from their resumes.
I realised it had damaged my career because it has professional shortcomings as well as, say, moral shortcomings.
Touchdown!
There were people who thought that I would never make another film again as a result of Turkey Shoot, and shouldn't be allowed to make another film again. Should be run out of the industry.